shouldn't be hard. Life should be a fun-filled adventure every day. So now start joining up dots. Tap into your talents, your skills, your God-given gifts, and tell your boss, you don't deserve me. I'm out of here. It's time for you to smash that alarm clock and start getting the dream business and life you, well, of course, are dreaming of. Let's join your host, David Ralph, from the back of his garden in the UK, or wherever he might be today, with another jammed-packed episode of the #1 hit podcast, Join Up Dots.
Yeah, good morning to you. Welcome to the Join Up Dots podcast. Are you good? Are you living your best life? Are you thriving? Or are you struggling? And today's email is about, or this podcast episode based on an email that I've received where life is kind of good, but it feels wrong. It just feels sort of out of whack somehow. And I want to go through this because I think it's something that most people have. I certainly have it. I have it more often than not. When your life is good and you think I should have more to be grateful for, but it just doesn't feel that way, and you just feel a bit off kilter. And so let's give it a trumpet fanfare. And a round of applause, of course. Gotta give him a round of applause. Well, this is a guy called Mark in the United Kingdom. Doesn't say where he's from. And he says, "Hi, David. I'm not really sure how to explain this properly, but I thought I'd email anyway. Nothing in my life is going badly. Work is steady. Home life is fine. And I've got ideas I want to work on, but my head just feels tired all the time. It's like I wake up already behind. Simple decisions feel harder than they should. And when I sit down to do something useful, I can't really get to it. My brain either wanders or just shut down. I keep thinking I need a plan or a reset or a checklist or something big to get me on track, but I don't even know where to start. I listen to Join Up Dots most mornings and it usually helps. Doesn't always help, you see, but it usually helps. But lately I feel like I'm stuck in my own head. I don't know if I'm stressed, lazy, or just overthinking everything. Any thoughts that you have would really help. Thanks for the podcast, Mark." Well, Mark, it's something that we all have. And first of all, thank you for that email. And I'm really glad you sent it, because there's something in what you've written that I personally recognised immediately. And I suspect a lot of people listening will recognise it too, even if they just can't put it into words. It's not dramatic, is it? You're not talking about health issues or crisis or burnout or your life falling apart. You're just talking about kind of that feeling of just sort of, I suppose it's like heaviness. Your body just you just feel slumpy. And that sense that your head feels full before the day has even started. And I know that, because I know what that is, and I get it quite a lot. And that's brain tiredness. It's not sort of physical exhaustion. It's not emotional issues or overload. It's just that your mind's been carrying too much and too many things for too long without realising it. I get it a lot because I jump from business to business. I've got offline businesses, I've got online businesses, I've got the podcast, I've got the coaching, I write books. And there's times when I just think to myself, I just don't know where to start. I don't know if I want to start anything. I know I've got to be doing it. And that's brain tiredness. And it's sneaky because it doesn't just come to you. It creeps up on you and it changes how everything feels. As I say, majority of the time, I love my life, and I'm sure you love your life as well, Mark. And there's these times when the decisions that should be easy suddenly feel harder than they should. And the things that you think are exciting, and certainly everything I do is exciting, really, because it's building better futures for me and my family, and it's helping you guys build better futures as well. And I love it when you get emails through to the podcast and people say, "Oh, I've listened to the podcast," or "I've had that coaching call with you, David, and things have changed and stuff." It feels like it should be exciting, but there's times when it doesn't. And it just feels tiring and exhausting because your head kind of has spent so long not switching off, it now doesn't know how to switch on. And the worst part of it is that when your brain is tired, I think it starts bringing the wrong questions to you. It's the vague ones. Where is this going? What should I be doing with my life? Is this the right path? All the kind of, I don't really want to think about this, but am I doing the wrong things? And these questions aren't the right questions to be asked when your brain is already overloaded, because you're not going to get the right answers. As I say, I've had this myself more times than I care to admit. I've had times when the podcast was doing brilliantly, business is ticking along, money's coming in, I've got all the time in the world, nothing's actually wrong, but in my head I felt like I was carrying everything at once, every future episode, every expectation of listeners and stuff, every possible direction. And I used to say I was depressed. I used to say to my wife, I feel depressed. And now I know it's not depression, it's just weariness and tiredness. And I sit there feeling drained without having done anything particularly demanding. And I'd sit and watch an episode of whatever I'm watching, and after about 20 minutes I just want to turn it off and close my eyes, because I can't even muster the enthusiasm to focus in on the story and that. And that, I think that's where you are, Mark. Okay, you haven't got a problem with motivation because you're trying to get going. You haven't got a problem with discipline because you're asking these questions and you're knowing that you should be doing things or you want to be doing things. You probably haven't got problem with sort of clarity. All these things. Your brain's just tired, mate. It doesn't need inspiration and motivation, it just needs relief. It needs less to hold. And this is, I think, where most people go wrong. And as I keep on saying, I've done this too. I've done anything out there that you are struggling with, I've gone through it multiple times. Okay, and I used to think, right, I need to fix my life, because I'm a kind of fixer. If I see a problem, I need to fix it. And so I look at the big picture and I zoom right out and I start thinking about where things should be in months and years and all that. And it doesn't get me anywhere, because I've just handed my tired brain even more problems. It's far too big for the state it's in. And that's where the join up dots mantra comes in again. It's just do something. It might be to say that you go, right, I know I want to be doing these things, but I'm not going to be doing them for a month. I'm not even going to be thinking about them. My wife said to me this morning, actually, she said, oh, you said something yesterday that I need to get at the shops. And what was it? I said, I'm not even going to think about it. And she said, yeah, but what? Yeah, just think about it. I said, no, my brain's tired. I'm not going to think about it. And so what I do, I reduce all the decisions that I have to have. I only focus in on the things that I absolutely have to do. And it gets you through that foggy time. It just means that you're not jumping between thoughts, and you allow yourself to be never fully present, because you're just allowing your brain to recover. And what finally helped me, it wasn't a breakthrough. It was just finishing something small that had been sitting there waiting for me. It was just that one thing, that one dot. It was just that clean start, the clean end to something. And the relief you don't get isn't emotional or dramatic. It's just neurological. You can just feel like another thing is leaving your plate. Does that make sense? You know, the brain recovers through giving it fewer things to do, not bigger visions. Our tired brain, it doesn't cope well with all the possibility. It copes well with just doing something, okay? And so, Mark, when you say you feel like you wake up already behind, that tells me that your brain hasn't had a proper sense of finishing something off for a while. It's constantly either preparing, anticipating, juggling, and not actually going, right, I've done that, move on to the next thing. You don't need to fix your life. You just need to shrink the amount of problems that you're thinking about and just deal with the one biggest one, okay? Just for today. Just that's all you got to do with. And once you do that, you can give yourself a break, because you might have 30 things you need to do, but you can just think to yourself, okay, I've just done that one thing. And what I'm saying to this is not at work, because people go to work and you can't just sit there and your boss says, what's the matter? And you go, oh, my brain's tired. I'm talking about all the other things that people try to put on their plate, the side hustles, the dealing with family commitments, all that kind of stuff. You look at it and you think, right, no, that's not my key priority. It just means that I need to have a break. At the moment, I'm seriously thinking about going to a retreat for 28 days, 30 days in Thailand. For that same reason, Mark, that you say, because I just feel like my brain has been thinking too hard for too long, and I need a little bit of a breather where I'm not thinking about anything at all. And I'm Googling ones at the moment to see what ones are out there. But I quite fancy the sort of 3 or 4 week one, when you go out there and you just totally focus in on getting yourself back together. And that's what you can do, Mark. Okay, not the 28 days and stuff, but just think to yourself, am I thinking too much? Am I giving my brain a rest? Because if you're not, then that nagging feeling that you've got at the moment can build up. You can nip these things in the bud really quickly, but you need to actually make those conscious decisions. Make the problem smaller. Stop putting things on your plate that perhaps don't need to be there at the moment, and allow yourself to have a brain rest. A couple of days, a week, whatever, but just think to yourself, I'm going to reduce the amount of things that I'm thinking so that I can focus in on the things that I need to do. Yeah. So that's what I would say to you, Mark, and I would say to everybody else out there, if you feel that as well, if you feel like I've got so much on my plate and stuff, just look at the biggest thing and think, right, okay, that's non-negotiable, I've got to do that, but the other stuff can be left, because I think that's the key thing. We're not machines, we're not AI, we're people dealing with problems, issues, other people's issues and stuff, and ultimately our body starts to say to us, hang on, I think I've had enough here, I need a break. And I understand it totally, Mark, because I feel like that's where I'm at the moment, that things are heavier than they should be. So we can do it, Mark. And for everybody else out there, if you're feeling the same thing as well, just drop us a line, joinupdots@gmail.com. Just tell us what you're dealing with, and we will try to help you in any way. And it might just be the case that you've shared it with us, and you don't even have to put your name on it. You'll know what you've said, and you're starting to take control. Okay, and that's when it all changes. So thank you for Mark, and thank you for everybody listening. And that's it for today's episode of Join Up Dots. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review if you've got a second or two, because it really does help us. And until next time, we will see you in the next episode. Look after yourselves, stay sexy, of course. And Mark, leave it all behind just for a little bit and just notice how you start to feel different. That's how success is built. Till next time, we'll see you again. Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. We'll be back again real soon. Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots. Join up, join